attitude. I thought attitude and feelings were the same thing. I thought that how I felt dictated my attitude. So like if I'm sad, it's like fuck today.
And no matter what I do, I'm always selling picks and shovels. That's what I always say. I sell.
What do you mean by that?
All right. So what I mean by that.
So what's good, man? What you been up to, man?
Bro,
Welcome to another stupid ass podcast, whatever.
Oh yeah, that thing.
Yeah. Intros. He doesn't like intros, so
I don't give a fuck about that.
Fuck about that shit.
You don't have to fucking know anybody.
I'm trying not to curse, man.
You try not to curse?
I don't want to curse in my act anymore. Like
Really?
I wanna.
You trying to do the Will
Smith?
Smith?
No, I want to curtail cursing. No, I don't want to be a pussy rapper.
With mad money and shit.
With mad money and shit.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
there's a bunch of movies and shit. Yeah. Yeah.
No. All right, if you could pick any rap career. Okay. If you could pick a rap career, Will Smith, rap career, rap / career.
Okay, now that's different.
Versus only a rapper. Like you only get to be a rapper. You don't get to be Will Smith and be a rapper. Who would you pick?
I'm trying to understand your question. Hold on.
Okay, Will Smith's career as a whole.
Yeah.
Okay, or you just get to be Apathy underground rapper.
Oh no, you're gonna go with Will Smith.
Really?
Make that. I mean,
I thought
depends.
You were going the other way with that.
No. What you're talking about? We talking about money? Like we're talking about fucking money? Like,
I said career.
Like,
I didn't say anything. Money doesn't mean career. A career you eventually have. I think Apathy lives a pretty good life.
I'm sure it's okay.
I'm pretty sure it's.
I'm sure it's the same as like a dude that owns a gas station. I'm sure it's not like insane.
If he was listening right now, I feel like
I'm saying, like, bro. Okay. So you're a comedian. So you tell me, look at the difference between somebody who's doing big arenas versus a person who just does shows and travels.
Okay, that's the same question. Kevin Hart is the Will Smith of comedy. Okay, there's that comedy career.
Yeah.
Okay,
just balling out,
crazy
movies,
shit,
all these movies, amazing stuff.
Doing everything. Okay,
yeah.
And then there's Todd Barry.
Todd Barry.
Exactly.
Use that.
Respected by comedians. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It means people love Vinny Pass. People love self-titled.
All right.
You know what I'm saying?
People love somebody that I know, Stanhope.
Okay. Wait. Oh, fucking
Stanhope. That motherfucker is crazy.
Okay.
He's so good.
Okay.
Fucking degenerate, bro.
Okay. All right. Will Smith career, Doug Stanhope career. Who would you choose? Nothing to do with finances. Just
the lifestyle?
Just like career lifestyle.
Stanhope probably. Yeah.
Really? See, that's the answer.
That's a real yeah.
That's
because
I
see where you're coming from, because you're asking me career wise. I'm like, of course I want the career with all the money and all this other, but you're like, just like the life and shit. Like, I'm like, of course I don't want to be known everywhere that I go. I don't want any attention from people. I don't want to, you know what I mean? I don't want any of that shit. Like, I'll do my comedy. Like, let's say if I was a comedian, I was going out there doing my comedy, and you got your fucking fan base, your little fan base that fucking follow you around and shit. Respect. That's a good life. You know what I mean? And honestly, I think that's what the majority of the people do now, because art has fragmented into little groups online. You know what I mean? So you can
talk
have
about
an artist.
I think weren't we kind of discussing this about like your work and how back in the day, if you wanted a photographer or you hired a photographer, you were doing an event. You were doing this and now we find, because of the fragmentation of now everybody's a star in their own world, is what I said to you yesterday, right? Yeah. And so let's talk about
okay. Well, no. Like everybody's become so me, I'm all about one thing. I always said this, okay? No matter what I do, I'm always selling picks and shovels. That's what I always say.
What do you mean by that?
All right. So what I mean by that is that during the gold rush back in the days, everybody went out west looking to make money, right? So everybody goes, try to find the fucking gold or whatever the fuck. And the only people that actually got rich off of that were the people selling picks and shovels for other people to go and dig their gold.
Correct.
Right? So if you're going to do a career and there's like a bunch of social media shit popping, you might as well be selling them picks and shovel. Because there's going to be 1,000, you can get 1,000 clients, or you yourself can go and try to become a superstar online and do it by yourself or go hire other people. But one way or another, one person for sure is going to spend money and another person for sure is going to make money. So I'm going to ensure that I'm in the side that makes money.
And
whatever you're doing.
Is that how you became a like? I remember, I think we were discussing this.
I just love photography. I mean, I love photography. I love video. I love all that shit. But at the end of the day,
but you like, realize something.
That's just what it is.
You realize the problem in the ecosystem that you were like, yo, like there's an opportunity here that it like you told me yesterday. You're like, or like we were talking and you explained to me like what I interpreted was that we've come to a point where like we're all stars in our own little world, and we need to hire. We want to get good pictures. We want to put a good image of ourselves out there. And if we can't do that, we hire somebody to do that now. Yeah. So now there's more opportunities for people like you to sell picks and shovels to people, because now everybody technically is a star in their own little world. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like you could be like, I met a guy the other day who's like my fucking dad's friend or whatever. His wife's niece's husband, fucking this like 40-year-old dude who's a TikTok star. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And like I'm over here a comedian, and I'm like, what the fuck is TikTok? Like I don't know what to do on TikTok, and this guy's like, I got 40,000 followers. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta do it. You gotta do it. Yeah. And it's super interesting because like everybody's a star these days in their own fucking world. Oh yeah. And you said to me yesterday, you said that you're like, what you just said right now, I would rather be the person that facilitates those dreams or like makes or is along the way for those dreams. You know what I mean? Which is fucking dope as fuck.
Well, you get to meet a lot of cool people. You get to do a bunch of cool shit. You get to do some traveling. You can do all that shit. Or you can, like, in my opinion, the way I see it, or you can just, start your Instagram and go through that process. That if you want to work in the social media world, start your Instagram, start whatever the fuck you're doing. Make it into a business page, figure out advertisement, figure out your photography, figure out your video, figure out your, you know what I mean? So you got to go through that whole process of fucking basically trying to move forward and showing up between the weeds. You know what I mean? Like between all the fucking people that are doing something. You can do that, or you can sell shit to everybody, which you're for sure going to make money. And you know what I mean? And like money's not super important to me, but I just don't like to be poor because I'm kind of done with that part. You know what I mean?
Talk about that. Talk about that.
Wow.
Talk about
like why be poor?
Yeah. The urge to not be poor. Do you have something to say, buddy?
I was just gonna say, like, if you could think of the internet just as like the social gold rush. Like it's just like all the internet, all the social media and whatnot is the gold rush. So yeah, you're just doing like the
pretty much. Yeah, well, that's the way I see it.
Yeah,
that's why I said picks and shovels, bro. Yeah. For that gold rush, like wherever they're going, no matter what it is, doesn't matter what the fuck it is. I don't care. I find the picks and shovels in it.
That's super interesting. It's a really interesting way to live life. And we were talking yesterday about two different types of people, right? And I thought this was a fucking fascinating thing to learn about the two different types of people in the world. Like there are some people in the world, like we live in a world today, I think, where we don't want to be inconvenienced. You know what I mean? Like the majority of people would rather pay for a service to get done and not have to deal with it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And pay the extra money to not know how to get my oil changed. You know what I'm saying? To just pay somebody to do it, because during that time I could be doing something else that's more productive that could make me more money, essentially. Yeah. Is the majority of the world, I believe, operates in those parameters.
Yeah, I always say like that's the way I do it. Like if you're gonna mow your lawn and it's gonna cost you, whatever, $35, to mow your lawn, and the guy's gonna take, an hour and some change. I do the math. I'm like, does my hour and some change, is it worth more than the $35? If it is, I'll pay the $35 and go and make my 100. You know what I mean? Yeah. Whatever it is that I'm doing.
Which I think is important for success in some way, shape, or form.
Correct. But and then remember that what I was telling, things like that. And what I was telling you was the shit that like I ran into this dude, and I'm like really surprised by this type of shit. And I've seen a couple of cats like this. Like I know like a couple millionaires that are very much like this, that like to do, like, for example, I mean Caesar, like fucking Caesar, the dog whisperer. He does, even though he has mad money, he loves to do shit. He loves to go like to his ranch and plant a tree and fucking move rocks and, get down and dirty, paint some shit. Like he likes to do that shit because he's like an old country cat. You know what I mean? I understand that. But recently I met like an anomaly, is this kid young dude, younger than us, and this guy is fucking like banking. I mean, the dude he was showing me all his cars. They're just Like every car was like 100,000 plus. You know what I mean? Like fucking cars. Like we were talking and he's like, he had a fucking GTR. You know what I mean? And he was like, I'm like, yo, what year is this? He's like, oh, 2020 because they don't have the 2021. You know what I mean? It was like, fuck, dude. Like,
yeah,
just like that. Oh, they didn't have the 2021, so I got the 2020 for now. But when they get to 2021, I'll buy that one.
Hell yeah.
I'm like, yo, respect and shit. But the thing about the reason I mentioned this person is because this is a person that doesn't fucking go and that will go and cut their grass. You know what I mean? That's a person that will spend all their time to make sure that they're getting the best deal on what they're doing. They're the person like he goes, I wrap my cars. So he goes, I wanted to learn how to wrap a car. You know, how to like make fucking designs on it. And the dude just figured out the whole thing by himself, the whole process, bought all the gear that you need to do, like to make that shit and fucking learn how to do it. And now he has like a car wrapping business. But although he rarely ever runs it because his point is not to like get a job to go and do that shit. He just wants to do it whenever he wants to do it. Or one of his homies want to wrap. He's like, yeah, I'll wrap your car, bro. I got you.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? He did the same shit with a bunch of shit, like clothing, like just a bunch of shit. The dude's super smart. And I'm like, you just do like websites, like anything, video, the photography, all that stuff himself. He does it all himself.
That's what I mean.
He's like, by the way, he's balling. He's like a Twitch streamer or some shit like that.
That's what I mean is that like we live in a world where like information used to be compartmentalized.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was thinking about this the other day where like I was thinking about this the other day where I was like, if you wanted to look up, let's just say you want to look up who directed what movie.
Yeah.
In 1978, so and so.
Yeah.
You asked. Yeah, ask somebody. And then you hope that they gave you the right answer. You know what I mean?
They'll probably lie to you. And,
yeah, dude.
And you'll keep that information for the rest of your life.
There's a comedian, I forgot who it was. Like, there's a comedian that's like out there that has a joke about like being like back in the day, you could just lie.
Yeah.
And there was no, like, for instance, like, oh, Winston Churchill, fucking 1943, bro. And as long as you said it with confidence like Trump, dog, everybody believed you, bro. In fact, before early internet, I got away with shit. Saying shit with confidence.
Before you can pull shit up, yeah.
Yeah, remember back in the day, fucking when we started hanging out, people would be like, oh my God, you're so eloquent when you like talk, like you sound so smart. And I was just being like, yeah, I just watched a couple conspiracy videos. If I'm being honest with you, and I'm just repeating.
Like I just made that shit up.
Yeah, no, yeah. But like if it sounds eloquent, but it's like now I feel that like anything is accessible. Like I called you up and I was like, yo, I'm fucking super jazzed about learning this video editing shit, and it just got me thinking about how like comedians and shit, like this is it. This is what Louis did. Mm-hmm. People used to make fun of Louis and be like, oh, Louis out there filming shit like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
People used to be like, look, he's out there filming a little movie. He has fucking Dave Attell and shit and all these people like in these little sketches that meant nothing. 20 years later, motherfucker, 15 years later, he's winning Emmys. You know what I'm saying? And he's filming everything and editing everything himself. And he's like doing it on like a $250,000 budget per episode, which is insane. You know what I'm saying? Insane. In the first episode, the helicopter that he gets in the first episode of the season, he goes, he had like an extra like 30 grand to like blow. And like, he's like, well, I think it'll be really funny if this helicopter just like took off with this girl or whatever. And she just got on it and left. And he goes, that cost like 20 grand. Which is fucking dope. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you know this shit. Like I was telling somebody the other day that I was like, I've toured myself so much that if I got a manager or an agent and he books some shit, I could be like, you did this wrong. Why am I going to Seattle and then going to New York next week? No, you take me through the South. Like, you know what I'm saying? Let's go to Arizona, stop by Texas. Then let's head to fucking, New Orleans, North Carolina, go back up. Like, what are we doing here?
Well, dude, that's why, like, so if you're starting a business, this is the way, like, business shit works. How you should do it, right? How you should do it. You should learn every position in the business. By the way,
he doesn't own a business.
Right? No, zero business experience.
That's none whatsoever.
Right? You go and fucking learn what all the positions do. So you have to do them yourself. You have to know what it takes. You have to basically, because a business is just a piece of paperwork. You see what I'm saying? That's all it is. Business is just paperwork. This is how everything gets done. Right? So if I give you a fucking plan, I can write down a whole business and say, this is what this employee does. That's what that employee does. This is how much this person gets paid. This is how much you pay for the product. So this is all your overhead. This is how much you get for profit. See what I'm saying? So that's how you break it down and shit. So, but you got to know what every position does, or else they can be fucking you. That's why if you want to have a business, learn some fucking accounting.
Learn some numbers.
Yeah, learn some accounting. Yeah, look, it's kind of important because you're gonna get fucked in the process if you don't know what the fuck you're doing. Whether it's somebody fucking you with your, when they're helping you out with your numbers, or the government fucking you when you fuck up the numbers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you have all that shit all in one place, but you have to learn everything so you could call out the person. Because if not, like, I seen a lot of people, bro, again, millionaires, you know what I mean, whose agents and those people have fucked them over, like, big time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just because they didn't know, like, they would get commission on their name, for example.
Let's look at Dave Chappelle. Mm-hmm. Dave Chappelle's a great example of, like, what he explained. He goes, you own my name through the universe? Through the known, like it says in the paper, through the known universe. What the fuck does that even mean?
Just in case they go to space and shit, they gotta put up shows. They're like, nah, Dave Chappelle, you doing a show in space, bro? Fuck, he's out of our jurisdiction. Like, nah, it's like universe, just in case that motherfucker gets out of the solar system. Yeah.
But how insane
I didn't know that.
No, I didn't know that either. That, like, apparently that's how contracts, and it got me thinking about Cesar Millan. Mm-hmm. The dog whisperer.
Yeah,
he can't use that name today.
Yeah,
as on any of his websites, on any of his shit. No reference, no nothing.
It's fucked up. It's like weird. Look,
you can't even quote it. Like, I'm the dog whisperer.
They can say like, oh, he's a dog whisperer. He had the dog whisperer show. They do that, but he can't have a show called the dog whisperer. He can't be, oh, I'm the dog whisperer. Cesar Millan, the dog.
The dog whisperer podcast. TV.
He can't
do the dog whisperer.
Correct.
Podcast.
He can't do a dog whisperer. Yeah. Matter of fact, the people that took the name, I think, do shit like that. Like, you know what I mean? But this is the thing, like a company or like he was known as that beforehand. And then when the company makes a show, then they copyright the name basically and just take it and run. And
yeah.
And it fucks him because he's like, I created this shit. Like I started from scratch and everything. But at the end of the day, the dude's fucking like humble. He's just going to be like, nah, he's like, it is what it is. I just do my own shit.
Once again, everything's become so fragmented and knowledge is so available that there's no excuse. Like, now that we know these stories, we know that this happens. You know what I'm saying? Why are comedians doing their own podcast? Why are people doing their own thing? Why are people releasing their own content? And it's getting more views than actual television, actual fucking Netflix shows and all this stuff. We're doing better because people are allowed to put out the things that they want to put out. You know what I mean? Versus it being under control and telling you what can or cannot be done, which is a beautiful thing. But then it also opens up the door for a lot of bad shit to get made. You know what I mean? Which, like, right now, this could be bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't know. You guys tell us if it's good.
No, I mean, look, I'll give you an example of that bad. Did I ever tell you about how, like,
basically learn to do every job? Man. As a comedian, you gotta learn video editing.
Oh yeah,
you gotta learn fucking writing scripts.
You gotta learn everything. It fucking sucks.
It sucks. You gotta work, and then being a comedian on top of that is fucking work too. Fucking writing jokes and all that shit, and going to shows and
like it doesn't stop the normal things you do.
It
just
insane.
adds to it.
It's insane. Back in the day, you just had to be a comic. But what were you gonna say?
Oh no, like I was like, I mean that's like we're talking about. Basically, it could be bad shit too. You know what I mean? Like that shit can go downhill fucking fast nowadays. That's the only whack thing.
What do you mean by that? Like as far as like releasing something and then?
Well, I mean fucking anything, bro. Anything you do, because you yourself are doing something for the first time. You know what I mean? Like you're putting out videos, you're putting whatever, and you don't have like a whole group that's experienced with this to make sure that you're fine. So you become a target the more popular you get.
Oh
right?
Yeah.
But you're just doing your shit yourself, right? You're like, oh, yeah. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go out there doing it myself. You get more popular. I mean, technically, look, that's what Joe Rogan went through.
That's the tipping point of like fame. Like once you reach a certain level of fame, it's all good up to a certain point. You're amazing, and then you reach that tipping point where now the hate is as equal as the fucking love that you're getting, and that's when you know you're super famous.
Yeah, that's when you know you're doing good.
Yeah, that's when you're doing you're like, people know who the fuck I am. You know what I mean? And that could be a good thing and that could be a bad thing, but I think it's all about how you receive it. Like I've been learning about your attitude, which brings me to like, I just heard this shit. Like I was telling Blake this about like attitude in life. The biggest thing that I've learned recently is that, and you have this.
Yeah.
Ironically,
maybe.
The one thing you don't have that we were talking about that we saw earlier and that you ironically pointed out, and I've been thinking about you this whole week about this, is vulnerability, but that's besides the point. But what were we talking? What was I saying before?
Bunch of horrible things.
Fuck.
Because I lost the
attitude.
rhythm.
Attitude towards like life. So you've always perplexed me. Okay. There's two moments in like our lives where like I just been dumbfounded by you, and now it all makes sense. Attitude. You can't control your feelings. Feelings come and go, right?
Yeah.
And I have a problem with that because I like to be under control of things. That's why I'm a comedian. You're gonna laugh when I want you to laugh, not when you want to laugh at me and be like, you got a stupid face. Insecurity. But I like to be in control, and the one thing I hate, and I was telling my therapist, is like I hate that I can't control my feelings. Like I hate my feelings. Like I hate that I can't control them. But what I learned is attitude. I thought attitude and feelings were the same thing. I thought that how I felt dictated my attitude. So like if I'm sad, it's like fuck today. Fuck this job, fuck this, and stuff like that. But the one thing you can choose, you can't choose how you feel, because that shit comes and goes. Sadness, depression, happiness, it's like it all comes and goes. What you can't control is your attitude towards those things. Correct. And attitude is like, how do you receive them? Hey, and you receive them. You receive these things in life, like your whole life. Like you're very stoic. Like the guy that we were watching earlier. Like I've seen shit happen to you.
The serial killer, bro.
Like I've seen shit happen to you. Yeah, you're like a serial killer. This guy's like a fucking serial killer. All right. He'll tell you some stories. All right.
Now everybody knows. Fuck.
Yeah. He's a photographer that moonlights as a fucking serial killer. He films it all. But you're very stoic.
It's hard being a serial killer nowadays, dude. You got to learn fucking video editing. You got to on top of that, you're not even killing people.
So much shit, bro.
You're fucking. You
gotta learn how to make knives.
Yeah, you gotta color
make your
correction.
Own duct tape. Make your own duct tape. Just sit.
You gotta hide the body and shit. It's
bro,
just
by
fucking,
yourself.
It's not good old
just
just killing back in the day.
Yeah.
But what's so funny, what I think is so funny and so interesting about you is that your attitude towards life, where like terrible things have happened to you, and you just go, meh. And to me, I would like my brain couldn't wrap it around. I couldn't wrap my brain around how you handle shit in life. Like I'd be like, yo, this motherfucker's special. This motherfucker's got like a superpower, bro. Like he just shit hits him in life, and he just goes, yeah, I got cancer. So, like what? like
a big deal.
Yeah. You jumped out of a plane. I saw the pictures on Instagram. Immediately called you. What the fuck was that like? And you said it was like falling out of the sky.
Yes. That's what it was. That's it. That's what it was. There was nothing else. It was just falling out of the sky.
And
I just never felt that before.
I'm saying, but that attitude, you see,
it was new, but it happened.
But that attitude, what I think it is curiosity of the world versus you being like, fuck what's happening to me. You go,
yeah,
it's raining in my bedroom. That's crazy. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
all right, so wait, did we ever talk about the rain in the bedroom? I don't think we have. Maybe back in the days. I don't think we
on the podcast.
No, not on the old one. We probably did.
Yeah. Okay, so like I'll give you a situation. This is a horrible situation that can happen to you, and this is a story that if your attitude is everything. Okay, this motherfucker worked at the airport. I have to pick him up in the morning at like 9 a.m. or some shit like that, like 10 a.m. from the fucking airport. I'm sleeping in the bedroom in our apartment. I'm sleeping in the bedroom next to his bedroom, and it was a 2-bedroom apartment. And I remember waking up and like kind of being like in that half asleep, half awake state. You know what I'm saying? And like, and in Florida, this happens a lot. It's sunny, but it's raining.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I look out the window and I go, oh, it's a beautiful day out. We used to live on the water and by the beach. I'm like, it's a beautiful day out, but it's raining. And I'm like, Florida. Like, that's weird.
Normal. But, you know.
So I get up. I know I got to go pick you up. My alarm goes off. I get up. I go to the bathroom, which is towards your bedroom. And the rain gets louder. Like, I'm like, it sounds like it's raining, like in the house. And I walk into, Blake, listen to this shit. I walk into his bedroom, okay? And it is raining on his brand new bed. in his brand new fucking like setup, everything, dog. Like he had just bought this, him and his girl had just bought this bedroom setup. The fan, water is dripping from the apartment above. I don't know it at this moment, but water is a pipe had burst from the apartment above because they lived on the second floor and there was a third and a fourth floor. Pipes had burst above and water was falling all the way down through their apartment. And there was a puddle in the middle of their bed that if you went and jumped into the bed, you would splash everywhere. You know what I'm saying? And the fan is spinning and it's on and it's throwing the water around the bedroom. Okay.
Yeah. It's like a sprinkler.
Like a sprinkler, dude. Okay. I walk in there and I go, no one's home. It's just me. And I'm like, his girl's not home and he's not home. No one's home. And I'm like, I call him. I remember I was in the hallway of like the two bedrooms. I call him and I go, I don't know how to explain this to you, but it's raining in your bedroom. And I'll never forget your response was like, huh, okay. I'm at level or like 3 or whatever. Come and pick me up. I'm standing out here, and the whole time I'm driving, I'm like, what the like, I don't think he understands what I just told him.
Like it's raining in your room. Like,
which what were you thinking? Like when I'm coming to pick you up, I've never asked you this. What were you thinking? Like when I said those words to you, and I said it's raining in your bedroom.
I was thinking, don't do anything about it. Just come and pick me up. One, so I can.
You told me that. You were like,
just
okay.
Don't call anybody. Don't do anything.
Don't do anything.
Just pick me up, and I'll go over there. And before I have a bunch of fucking people checking out my apartment and all this shit, let me hide all the drugs.
Side note.
I'm just saying, you know what I mean?
You put whatever information you want together with that. Okay?
We're
not going to tell any more of that. We don't know what the statute of limitations is on anything, right?
Let me go get all the things that are worth money
and
make sure
money,
they're not fucked up.
Also money.
Stacks of cash. Dude, there's a bunch of shit going on in there.
Yes.
So I'm like, let me make sure I get there before fucking people walking around my house or some shit. Let me see what's going on. Let me, and I got there, and honestly, I was very impressed. I was very impressed, bro.
If you left me at your house sleeping,
and you went to work, bro,
and then you showed up at 1 p.m., and I go, I don't know what happened. It's raining in your bedroom. How would you react?
In your new bed, remember, you just spent thousands of dollars on all this shit.
See, I don't know because I am in the same idea. Like if I'm late for work, I'm the same where I'm like, I don't get nervous at all. I'm like, I know I'm late. Like if I'm late, I made my bed, I'm going to lay in it. Even if there's fucking water in the fucking middle of it. Like
you don't feel anything? Fuck you.
I do. But here's the thing is that if I responding intensely doesn't resolve anything. It doesn't make anything better. Like it does nothing. So just
there's a feeling.
This is now the new thing. Let's find what we got to do.
So let's say you walk out of your job one day, right? Or you walk out of your apartment and you go and you look for your car and it's not there.
Oh, another thing. Oh, yeah. This motherfucker's car gets stolen. I remember I come to the house, bro. Swear to God, bro. I come to the house from work. All right. And I pull up to the house and I walk into, because if his car's not there, then he's not there. His car's not there, but I walk into I walk into our home and he's sitting on the couch and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing here? Where's your car? And he looks at me and he goes, they stole it. and I go, what? Yeah, they stole my car. And then he just keeps watching TV. We just start hanging out like nothing happened. And I go, what do you mean? I have to, because he's so poised that I'm like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean someone stole your car? And he goes, I got off of work.
Hold on, check this out. This is how it goes, right? I say, I walk, because I've gone through this a bunch of times in my head because it was funny as fuck to me. But you walk out of your house.
Attitude. By the
right?
way, attitude.
It was
he didn't
hilarious.
go, this is fucked up. He
No,
went,
it's funny.
This is just funny.
It's interesting. Look,
It's interesting. That's
Yeah.
curiosity, by the way. Attitude. We're just learning.
This is the sitcom version of this is that you come in and you're like, hey, what are you doing, Jairo? And he's like, they stole my car. And he's like, oh, man,
and
let's
then
go
the laugh
find
in the
who
background,
fucking
laugh
did
track.
that. Yeah. Then everyone laughs. And then they go, well, let's fucking find who did it. Let's go ride. And then, then
And
Jairo
I'm
goes,
the one freaking out. He's Jerry Seinfeld, and I'm fucking, what's his name?
Kramer.
George?
Kramer.
No, George or Kramer.
Kramer.
No, more George.
George,
Like,
okay.
what's going on? Like, what
Nah,
do you mean,
bro.
Jerry? Like,
But
so
so peep this. Look, I walk out of work, and I had a fucking.
you worked at T-Mobile. You worked in a plaza.
Correct. So I walk out of work, and I had this black Integra, right, on black rims dropped with an exhaust. Nicest car I've ever had. Right? I really liked the car. It was cool, So I walk out of and I see that there's like, I don't see it where I remember parking it. But like, I park all the
Blows my
time.
mind, by the way.
I park all the time at work, right? And I don't see it. I'm like, it's not there. I'm like, maybe it's behind that car. So I walk and I look on the other side of the car. I'm like, it's not behind that car there either. And then I see another car over there, and it's a really little car. And I'm like, maybe it's an optical illusion. Maybe if I look behind a little tiny car, my big ass car is going to be behind it. And it wasn't. So I was like, So I told the people, I'm like, I think somebody stole my car. And they're like freaking the fuck out. My coworkers freaking out. What the fuck? I'm like, dude, they stole my car.
That's
By
what
the
I mean.
way,
Like, okay. By the way, your coworker's reaction
They were freaking out.
is my reaction.
They were
okay?
freaking out. Yeah.
Who's normal here? Who's the better human? Who's living life better at this
idea.
point? Is my question.
I
well,
don't know if
you're
people
you're
should
caught up
worry.
in the idea that there is good or better. Like things just exist, and that's probably more where you're at. It's like you know.
It's just you pick
First
up
of all,
you pick
we're
a
gonna
goal and
find out
move
where that
towards
comes
that,
from.
and
We're
we
gonna
can talk
finish-
about good or bad on that side.
No,
But
no.
That's how that works.
No,
but-
we're gonna finish it. We're gonna finish the story because that's super interesting. We're gonna finish the story and your reaction and stuff like that because I want to know where this. You aren't born like this.
No.
Something happened to you that you went, I'm gonna choose to be this way and choose to look at life this way. Which further down the line, finish the story. So you're curious. You're like optical illusion. Which,
Yeah, no,
by
that's
the way,
how I
this
say.
blows my mind because I'm such a fucking child. And I'm realizing this now that I'm a fucking child and that I'm an idiot when it comes to a lot of things. I just say shit with confidence, guys.
Look.
That's it. Okay, I'm an idiot. Okay,
Look.
and like this blows my mind that you are literally. I'm freaking out. Every step you went to is me going, what the fuck? And everywhere where you go, interesting, funny, curious, I go, holy shit, fuck
Yeah.
me.
Well, because this is it. Look, what I do is I do the opposite thing of what people do. So I know that's weird, right? But if something really big, crazy happens, right? I don't flip out about it. I go, and I leave it at that. But if we're hanging out, having a conversation, and you tell me something, and you tell me something small, that you're like, hey man, like, I don't know about these vaccines, and I go, why? And we start having this conversation, you start saying stupid shit, then that right there will fucking trigger the fuck out of me. If I go, this is the things that trigger me. Like in general, I'm very fucking peaceful, but if I have a conversation with you and you say something crazy, and I go,
Give me an example.
why?
Give me an example of like something you've heard recently that you're just like, I want to murder you.
Fuck, I'll give you one like.
That's what I'm saying.
I'll give
know
you one
have
from like a day ago.
There you go.
Like I was talking to my ex, right? And she's a good girl, she's like, I'm not 100% sure about these vaccine things, right? And she was explaining how they're shedding.
By the way,
people are shedding.
By the way, for YouTube purposes, we're not doctors. Listen to the CDC because I don't want to get pulled, and I just want to say that right now. We are not doctors. Whatever he says about vaccinations
doesn't matter.
Doesn't fucking. These are all jokes, and it's all for entertainment purposes.
All comments made on the Another Stupid Ass podcast are not medical advice. Please do not take them as so. We are not registered doctors. Continue.
Thank you.
Yeah, but no. So
Sorry.
we're
Sorry,
talking
the
about. So we're talking about this. So like, she tells me something like, "Yo, there's hundreds of thousands of people that have had neurological issues from the vaccine," and I'm like, "Really?" I'm like, you know what? I'm like, I don't mean to sound like a dick, but usually when people say this to me, I'm always very positive about it. I'll be like, okay, sure, let me research it. And then when I research and find out you're wrong and I bring you the information, if you can't change your opinion when the facts are in your face, like, I don't fucking understand you as a person. See what I'm saying? Like, if we're chilling, there's a car coming towards you, and you just saw a dude get hit by a car, and I'm like, you see what that guy got hit by a car? There's a car coming to you, is gonna hit you too. And you go, I don't know, man. I'm like, what the fuck? I go insane. But
by the way, that is a great explanation for what's happened. I'll be honest with you, like right now. I'll be honest with you right now. I don't get first gen anything.
You don't get first gen what?
When it comes to technology, if you know anything about technology, you never get the first generation of anything.
Yeah, it's like too complicated still for you to like. It's gonna take you a little time.
Let's see what happens after a year.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten sick. I never got it. You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't feel a need. Like, I've been very safe. I wash my fucking hands. I'm not saying that other people, whatever. I'm not a doctor, but I'm gonna wait personally. You know what I'm saying? Not that no. They work. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, fucking Fluffy just got it. He had the vaccine and he got it. Fluffy should be dead and went intubation and is according to comorbidities and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure he has more than 4. You know what I mean? Which is like what it says, that if you have more than 4 comorbidities, high blood pressure, fucking,
and he has to have high blood pressure. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah. Everybody, yeah.
I don't care. I don't care.
But whatever, like comorbidities. You know what I'm saying? He should be in the hospital. And like he said, he's like, yo, I'm fine. I'm not saying that they don't work. That's not what I'm saying. The best scientists in the fucking world. Yeah. All of them convoluted together to shared information, which has never been seen like this in the world, because because scientists don't like to do that shit, because they're like, you're gonna steal my fucking idea, you're gonna steal my gun, you're gonna steal my hypothesis.
They're going all out.
Yeah, they went all out and they shared information, and it took 10-15 years and we got it in a year. It's an amazing feat of science. You know what I mean? And I'm not against that. I'm not a first gen guy. Yeah. That's how I feel about it.
Ah, dude, you know what I mean? Look.
So did I trigger you? No, right? Like, that's a fair argument, right?
Because you understand the information.
Yeah.
But if I gave you all this information, if you say I'm never getting vaccinated if you tell me, oh, it's a first gen thing and you're a little iffy, I can understand that. But at the same time, you know what I mean? It's a little but I understand it because at least you're not giving me a crazy reason. You're not like, oh, it's 5G towers that are attacking me. You're like, okay, well, what the fuck are you talking about? You know what I mean? Like, when we get to that point, I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, you've heard the people go, hey, it's not the corona, it's the 5G towers that are doing. I'm like, then why the fuck are people in my country who live in the fucking countryside, who barely have fucking cell phones and shit, who basically have 2G, why are they getting COVID?
Yeah. In our
why the fuck is that happening?
Yeah.
So you're not worried about the outcome or the output. You're worried about how you got to that outcome or how you got to that output.
Correct.
Like how you took X amount of input.
I have an issue with epistemology.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
Right. Break that down.
An epistemology is basically the way you come to a conclusion of knowledge, how you end up believing something. Like, what kind of, I remember this guy explaining it as like, it's like the toolbox that you have when some new problem comes to you, you go through that toolbox and see how you can solve this problem. And a lot of people have really fucked up epistemologies. That's why I have like, it's very connected. Like, when people talk about,
where does that come from? Do you think that comes from, you think that like having fucked up is people like it comes like for instance, like religion, Santa, the Easter Bunny, like there's all these things that like we're lied to, that you get older and you get to the age of realization, like 12, 13, and you're like, wait, y'all motherfuckers been lying to me like this whole time about all this shit?
Look, it's this.
But do you think that's why people like a lot of us believe a bunch of bullshit? Like,
this is why, because you don't want to get eaten. Okay, so this is why, and I know that sounds crazy.
Primordial thing.
Correct. So like a throwback, like a, you know what I mean, like a primal instinct shit.
Yeah, it's primordial.
So think about it this way, right? So like, you want to come to a conclusion as fast as possible if you're in a life or death situation. And back in the days, most of our things that we had to come up with an idea for usually is a life or death situation. You got to get food. You got to fucking avoid danger. You got to stay warm. You got to do blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? That's how the shit was back in the days. Okay. So that's why a lot of people remember that. Like, if you talk confidently, a lot of people respect that because they think that you're giving them the right information right off the top. You're very confident. You're like, obviously, like those instincts come out. You know what I mean? It's like, take the information quick and run with it. Where that's not how things work.
In
things
society today, like,
yeah,
like we're not running from animals. We're not like, a conversation is not life or death. Interaction is like, is not life or death.
And that's also where those emotions come out, where you're like, and you're getting all hot. Like sometimes when you have an argument with a person, you feel it, bro. Your heart starts racing. You feel it. You're like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Or you're having a conversation.
Something earlier, I was arguing about something, like, I really didn't care about.
Yeah,
and like you were like, yo, you're getting in my face.
You get in my face. Get the fuck out of my face with this shit.
Knock you out. Dog.
Yeah, like, bro.
Like, in terms of evolution, the only things that ever stick around, the only things that stay around are things that make you more likely to survive. So the brain was just a creation of evolution.
Well, let me even clarify that a little bit more. The things that stay around are the things that don't stop you from surviving. So the reason I say that, because you can end up with vestigial shit that you don't need, but stays on you because it doesn't stop you from surviving. That makes sense?
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yes.
See what I'm saying?
Yes.
So like what do they say? What is it? The pancreas or what? He said, no, I think the pancreas does some shit.
The appendix.
Like, what is it?
The appendix.
The appendix. Yeah. Like the appendix. They're like, we don't like. It's just a vestigial organ that just is not really doing anything. Like your goosebumps, they don't do anything, but they're still there. You see what I'm saying?
But your goosebumps were like to alert
it was originally to alert. Like when we had hair, that's your hair's standing up.
Armpit hair.
Armpit hair.
What's the benefit of armpit hair? Give me a benefit.
It's like, again, there's like a lot of shit that are just not necessary.
Your pinky toe on your foot is apparently
a lot of shit that's just not necessary.
Your fucking aunt cut it off because she said,
oh yeah, she was bored of that shit.
Yeah,
she's like, gotta go. Gotta go.
Yeah, his aunt. I met this lady, dog.
She's mad,
she doesn't have the pinky toe, okay? And on both of her feet, she was just like, she was getting in the way when I would put on my shoes.
Gotta go.
Yeah, by the way, if you think you're hardcore in America, all right, this fucking Dominican lady fucking didn't give a fuck about her toes.
No,
she was like,
no fucks given,
she's
bro.
like, let's get rid of that fucking bitch. So let me ask you a question though. Like, where does belief and all that stuff and like how people believe things? You have a problem with people believing that. You have a problem with people coming to stupid conclusions with good information.
Well, it's like if you go to a math class, like, and you're taking a test, right? You remember how when you're doing math, they ask you like showing your work was the majority of the points. If you came up with the right answer, that's the really like the minimum points you can get. So if they give you a long equation, you just put 5 on it.
Yeah,
they're gonna be like, well, you fuck out of here with that bullshit. You know what I mean? I want to see how you got to 5.
Yeah,
I want to see how you got to 5, because the important thing is not that you know 5, is that you know how to get to 5. See what I'm saying? So like whenever somebody
the journey, not the outcome.
Yeah,
which is a big metaphor for fucking life.
Yeah,
it's not about the goal, being successful, getting that job, getting all that shit. That's not happiness. Like that's not gonna get you. That's not what you think it is. You know. And I think that's one of the most important things that I've learned in like life and having a short successful comedy career is that when I got there. Mm-hmm. And you just see another 400 people and you're like, oh, it's just another fucking show. Like you stop this appreciation and for like all the work that you did and all that stuff. And like you forget about the journey. You know what I'm saying? You forget that this is the fun part. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and that's the part that you have to kind of like do correct if you want to come up with the correct conclusions. You know what I mean? So like everything you've done in comedy, like if you go back, you probably would have started way better. You would have been like, oh, I know how to approach it now. Yeah, from the top. You know what I mean?
And that's why it's important, like you're talking about what you started the conversation off with, it's important how you react to it, not what happens to you. Because if you start having those good things happen to you, how do you react to it? That's what's important. And then if you lose all those good things, how do you react? That's what's important.
You know what's funny?
Because that's the only, it's all about whether you do or you don't have it, how do you react? That's why that's the only thing that's actually important.
Our last run of shows. Remember? Tell me if I had fun. But isn't that the dream? You know what I'm saying? Like I was living the dream, headlining my own shows. You know what I'm saying? And I was fucking stressed, dog. Yeah. And it was how I received that. You know what I mean? And that's what I want to learn. And I want to ask you is that what is your what you weren't born that way. You weren't born with this great disposition. Everything, your life story, because I know it, it's my father's life story. My father took care of of my grandfather, my grandmother his whole life. Why could he never achieve the things that he wanted to achieve?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Because he had a responsibility to his parents. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You did nefarious things, illegal things to help your fucking mom. You know what I'm saying? Like, first of all, this is where, like, this is so fucked up. Like, when you told me this, I was like, hold on, you don't even make money off of this like that? And he goes, no. He goes, it's to help out
I'm
my
like, I
mom.
just hustle and give my mom money so she's fucking fine.
So she could be okay. And
that's
like,
it.
no, but fucking,
Yeah.
anyone else looks at that in life and goes, that's a burden. That is something I don't want to carry. You brought me into this earth. You got to figure your own shit out. So what I want to ask you is, like, there's something happened in your life at some point that you can think of that made you be this way? Was it the moving a lot from like, from Dominican and not having control of the outcome? Like,
correct.
You just
that's
moved,
one
right?
thing. Correct. When you don't have control of the changes in your life, you feel powerless. And if you suffer through a feeling, if you're always powerless, you know what I mean? And you stress out consistently about being powerless, like, no. It's like I said, like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I'm better on my back. You know what I mean? If you want to take me down, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Because I'm better off the floor.
That's how you live life.
Yeah. If I'm balling out, I have no, like,
absolute
like,
bars.
no.
Okay, you heard that? That's an absolute bar.
Yeah.
If I'm on my back, then
that's where I'm comfortable.
that's where I'm most comfortable, at the bottom.
Yeah. Like, bro.
And that's your hustler mentality. That's your, like, I
Well,
gotta,
let me tell you
I'm gonna
something.
go out and get it.
Yeah, and you know what's funny, bro? I think that I get this shit. Like, I don't think my mom is a Zen person, but sometimes she can be extremely Zen. And that's where I get something from. Because, my mom.
Okay, I'll tell you, the little bit I've interacted with her, soothing is the word to this. Like, very, like,
Yeah,
like, I can't, like if someone's giving you like a nice soft back rub, and
she's like, I got you food and some coffee and something. You're like, oh, nice.
You're like, yeah, this is comfy.
This is good. But check this out. Like, I remember one time and this happened in actually a couple of different situations. But I remember one time I was hanging out at my house and my dad was hanging out and drinking with his homies. Like, this is in the Dominican Republic. And they'll chill in the garage and just drink and talk shit. Like, this is like an open garage outside, basically. So like, hanging out, partying and stuff with music on. And then he said he didn't feel good, right? So he walked over to my mom and he goes, I don't feel good. And I was in my room, like, listening to some reggaeton or some shit, right? And I looked through the door, my dad's there, and then my dad starts having an epileptic seizure, right? So he just stiffened up. He started having a seizure, and he fucking fell over in the bed. And my mom was there, and like my mom tried to catch him, and I saw him falling. I ran over there and I tried to help him out. And I was like I was fucking panicking. And my mom looked at me and said, hey. And I was like, what's up? And she said, go to your dad's friends and go tell him that he's having a problem and tell him to come over here so they can help me out. Very calmly. And I was like, what the fuck? So I just walked over there calmly and walked up to them and said, hey, something's wrong with my dad. Not 100% sure, but he fell over and stuff. And they all got up and fucking ran and they flipped the fuck out, right? And went to go check on him. But she was completely calm.
Okay, I don't know.
She was completely fucking calm.
I don't know if you put the camera on my face, but I don't know if you were watching me, but I literally went.
Yeah. She was completely calm.
And
I've seen this a couple times. I saw it when he came in also. Remember I told you he got fucked up one time? I got to tell you, dude. Okay, I'm going to tell this story.
His
right?
dad, by the way, is the most...
It's fucking legendary status, bro.
Yo, his
no
dad,
lie,
by the way,
legendary.
Bro, his dad the other day, my cousin who met his dad once.
Like when, though?
Like 15 years ago.
Yes.
Maybe 15 years ago. It surprised me because I went, you met him? And he goes, yeah. I even made fun of his name. And I was like, what? This guy is so impressionable. So impressionable. And just like you, very impressionable.
Like, he's way better than me.
Yeah, way better.
Way better.
Like, dude, this guy is just like the most charismatic human being you will ever meet in your fucking life / gangster.
It's because he's a crazy person.
Yeah,
bro.
and that's where like, but there's
Look,
balance there. Your
yeah.
mom, and then
It
him.
helps.
It's fucking interesting. But
Let me
but, like,
tell.
okay,
So let me
the
tell you
story.
before I get into this to the second story. So let me explain. Let me explain the.
Tell me
goats.
this story so you can tell me the next
Yeah,
story.
let me explain to you what happened with the goat story, right? So, what my dad used to do back in the days is in the Dominican Republic. He used to, like, maybe like 1 a.m, 2 a.m. You'll hear these motherfuckers drinking and laughing, like him and his homeboy, one of his best friends, and they're just laughing and shit, drinking. And I'm like, why are these people just partying in the middle of the night, you know, like on a Tuesday and shit? And you go out there, and this motherfucker had he had a black Benz, like on black rims or fucking tinted, like just this tricked out little Benz, right?
By the way, you have to explain how he lives though. He doesn't live like
No,
the
he's
Benz
not.
is the nicest thing.
Well,
he had.
this will kind of explain it. This is interesting. He had a lot of shit, bro.
He's a simple man though.
He is
He's
a
like
simple
you.
person, but he had shit. He's interesting. Like, so let me put it this way. This is what he would do, right? Middle of the night, you get in his black Benz, you have a black suit, right? Fucking with his black tie, right? Black glasses, looking like the Men in Black, him and his homeboy. and they're lining the trunk of the car with fucking trash bags. So you wake up at night and they're lining this shit with trash
This is
bags.
you as a kid.
Yeah, they're lining the car with trash bags. My cousin's like, yo, what the fuck are you guys doing? Like, and they're laughing.
Let
I gotta let me tell you what we do. Let me tell you what we do. And I was like, what do you guys do? He goes, so what we do, oh, by the way, the motherfucker has a silver shotgun, right? And he puts a silver shotgun in like the back seat of the car.
By the way, you know how
with,
bad
like, bullets.
that sounds right now?
And
You know how
he
bad
got a
he's
silver
dressed in all
shotgun,
black
dressed in
with
black.
a silver fucking shotgun.
And this is all just because he likes just the looks of the situation, right? So he's doing all this shit. And then he goes, well, what we like to do, this is his explanation, right? He goes, we go and drive through the countryside. And when we see like a goat on the side of the road, we'll roll up and we'll fucking shotgun the fucking goat. Boom! And just take the goat out, right? We see one walking around. There it goes. Boom! Take the goat and then throw it in the trunk, right? And then drive into a bar in the middle of the hood. He goes to the fucking, over there, the back in the days, the billards were the worst place you can go. So you go to a billard and it's like, you can see it like everything's dark around it and there's light in this little place. One
little door.
Yeah, one little door, lights on that place, and you have to go off road to get there. So he goes, it's fucking grimy. This is a place that people they're used to killing animals. They're country folks that used to fucking kill animals, and they're willing to kill people, and they're very open about it. They're crazy people. They steal, they kill. This is what they do. So my dad would go over there. And after killing a goat, he would roll up to this bar and say, hey, what's up? And everybody sees this guy with a Mercedes at 2 a.m. in the fucking ghetto. And they're like, are you fucking crazy? And he's like, nah, baby, I'm here to party. And he would buy bottles of fucking liquor for everybody. And he said, I got a dead goat in the back. Let's cook that shit. And they're like, what? He goes, nigga, yo, I get the rice. I get the beans. And these guys will start cooking, stripping the goat in the street, and they get all trash. And they get up to a point where everybody's so fucked up by like 6, 7 in the morning. They're like, bro, we got to get the fuck out of here. This is like his reality sinks in. And he's like, we got to get the fuck out of here, right? So then they start driving back. And
people start really to look
right?
like murderers and
ready?
shit.
And this is where it gets weird. I thought it was weird before. This is where it gets weird. On the way back, they stop at the place where they stole the goat. And they go to the guy. And then they say, hey, man, last night I was driving by and I hit your goat. So we took it with us. How much do I owe you for a goat? And the guy will be like $100. And my dad will give him like $300. And then they'll leave laughing.
And that's a Tuesday night.
and they would crack up. Ah! And they're like, but if you were going to buy the goat for 3 times the cost, like, why didn't you just go and buy the fucking goat for 1/3 of the cost? And you know what he said? He goes, because it tastes better when you steal it. Take that into consideration. It tastes better when you steal it. That's why we steal the goats. That's why we do all this shit.
Dude.
Is this fucked up or what?
There's so many lessons in all of this story. Horrible shit's happening, but there's so many lessons. What do you got, Blake? I want to hear your reaction because I've heard this story. And I
the
love,
reaction of an Englishman.
Oh yeah. Like, what are your thoughts about like about that?
The last sentence of that is it's just the whole your kind of version of thing. It's how he got there.
Yeah.
Like he got to the conclusion of dead goat eating it, but how did he get there? Because it was the most fun to
Black suit, Mercedes, bro, shotgun.
and
fucking-
that's why that's
That's the illest. Hold on, go on.
This is in a third world country, bro.
I was just gonna say in terms of when you were talking about like his suit and shotgun, like it just looks good.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, maybe that's why you do photography because you like how things look.
I just think I don't know, bro. I don't even know if I would even take. I like photography for another reason. I can break that down for you, but
wait, there, dog, like there's a life lesson in all of that.
there's something going on in there. I'm not sure what it is though.
There's
It's too
a lot going
chaotic
on.
for me.
No. This is your dad, so like
Yeah.
you're just going, this motherfucker's just crazy. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? But there's a lot like there's fun. There's owning it, knowing that what you're doing, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
is like illegal, but we're gonna have fun and we're gonna do it and we're gonna do some little dangerous shit. You know what I mean?
Super dangerous shit.
Super
bro.
dangerous shit. And we're gonna laugh about it the whole fucking time. And the beauty of it is that, like I said, it's the lesson in the end. It's like, why'd you do that? Why'd you do that? Well, because it tastes better when it's stolen.
Because
And
it's
the-
fun. That he's just he picks things that are funnier to do over. And I believe in this shit too. It's like if there's something that's funny, and then there's something that's like it's right, but it's not a huge like I would probably go with the funnier thing first.
Yeah. As a
think-
comedian, no, I gotta be honest with you. As a comedian, that could backfire in your life.
Of course.
As
You're like, I've seen it.
I'll tell you a story. It's probably a story I shouldn't tell, but I had a girlfriend,
yeah.
and she wanted to try anal sex for the first time.
Yeah.
Okay, so one day she finally comes to me. She's like, "Let's try it or whatever." Right? It was in the afternoon, which was really weird because I was like, "This is like a nighttime thing," and you want to get that?
It's like
dirty.
it's a nighttime thing.
It's a nighttime thing. You don't fuck somebody in the ass during the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Fuck.
So, we
It's
do the thing or whatever, and like right after, like she goes to the shower, and I'm laying in bed like a fucking gangster. You know what I'm saying? With a robe on and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Fucking got a robe on.
Fucking did it, bruh. I didn't have a robe on, but let's just say. So I'm just laying in bed, right? Let's just say I got a robe on, I got a cigar, I'm sipping brandy and shit. She's in the bathroom and she comes out of the bathroom with a towel on and she lays next to me in bed, all right? And I'm laying on the one of the edges of the bed and she's like in the middle. She's laying on me and she stops and she looks at me and she says, "So what do you think? Like how did it feel for you?" Now, at this moment, you have two options. This is really emotional for her. Okay, this is a big
She
deal.
got rammed up the ass, bro. I mean, that'll definitely get some emotions going, whether you liked it or not. You're gonna feel a certain way for sure. Not from experience.
So I have two options. To either be like, "Yeah, baby, I love it." You know what I mean? Like, it was amazing. Like, it was a great time. Or I say the funny thing. I went with the funny thing, which was a line that Alec Baldwin says on the show 30 Rock. And in the context in which he says it is that he becomes the CEO of NBC Universal GE, whatever, and he looks out the window one day and he goes, he takes a sip of his fucking scotch or whatever, and he goes, "For Alexander wept, for there were no more lands to conquer." And that's what I said to her. Okay, I said I looked away. Okay, she's right here, trying to be all sweet, and I looked away and I said, "For Alexander wept, for there were no more lands to conquer." And she started crying.
Yeah, like, what's next, right? That's it.
Listen,
That's it.
I either just had anal sex with her and I say the sweet thing that she wants to hear, or I get a good
smells like a
story
flower.
that I could tell on a podcast years later. What you think I
you
choose?
do a podcast, bro.
We're
all
not
day.
together now, but we make decisions.
Everybody got choices, bro.
Hey, decisions were made, baby. Decisions were made.
That's fucked.
So, answering the question. So you got it from your mom.
That's what it feels like, but I'm not sure.
Like that
I'm
moment
not
when you were a
100%
child. Like when you were a child, like it kind of
Well,
taught you something, because I asked you in the first story that you pop up with is that.
Yeah.
You know
Well,
what I mean?
because it happened twice. It happened like even after all that goat shit. Remember? So one time he went out, like he was out doing some shit, and some people try to steal, like rob him, you know, and like they had pulled him out of the car, like they fucked him up. They hit him with a machete in the head. They split his whole head open right here, and he had a bunch of stitches. He had to do a bunch of shit. So, like when they were chilling, and he never comes home, right? And he was so basically when they hit him, he went unconscious, and he went into like basically like a coma. You know what I mean? And he said he can see what was happening. They put him on a mode. Let's just put it this way. They pulled him out of the car. They fucked him up. Another guy that was there, they fucked him up. The third guy that was there took off with the car, so they didn't steal the car. He was a piece of shit. He ended up getting really fucked up. They beat him so bad. Like I said, he went into like this unconscious kind of semi-conscious shit when they split his whole head open. And while they were there, they were like, oh, let's kill this guy, right? But then one of the guys stopped, and they're like, man, I think that's that guy that comes around once in a while with like goats and shit.
Shut the fuck up.
And they're like, nah, I know that guy, bro. He's like, nah, dude, just like throw him on a motor. The same guy, they're robbing him. They're like, dude, throw him on a motorcycle and send him over to the hospital. So they threw him on the back of a motorcycle and they took him to the hospital. So he was out there for like 3 days because he was gone. He was fucked up for 3 days. We didn't know where he was at. There was no calls of what was happening. Everybody's missing in action. Okay. The guy comes back with the car. Yo, they robbed us. They pulled this guy out the car and they fucked him up. And it's like, yo. So 3 days later, he shows up at the house. He had a white shirt and it came out and it was all red. Right? My mom, zero panic. All right, sit over here. We'll let me clean up your stitches. He had all this fucking blood on him, all this shit. Like, and they shaved his head and shit and all this stuff. Mom, zen. Complete. Can you imagine that shit? That's fucking crazy.
That's what I gotta learn.
It's crazy. I don't know how she does that shit. Cause to me, I feel like if like something happened to my dog, like I'm probably gonna shoot you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and that's just my dog. Like,
yeah. You're like, that's just my dog. Imagine if I'm like my kid or like some shit like that. Like, I'd fucking murder you. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. It's like, yeah. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, damn, dude. And so she would be really zen about shit. Like, really horrible shit would happen. And living in a third world country, real horrible shit can happen to like people around you, and you're just like, it's like stunned. You're like stunned by it. It's like. The best way I could explain it is the paramedics out here. Like, I was studying to be like a paramedic and shit. I did all my EMT shit, and I was just not into it. But when I was doing all the training with these people, like, we would see people like basically dying, like they're literally about to die, and there's like all this crazy shit, blood and fucking kids getting hurt, and all this crazy shit happens. But when they get back, they just like joke around about it. Yeah, like, I know it sounds fucked up, but I remember this lady who couldn't breathe, and she was like, and she's making all these fucked up noises. And then that same day for lunch, all the guys would just make the noise every time they like take a bite of something. They eat something, they're like, because that's the noises the lady was making. I can't breathe.
But you know what's so funny?
And they're just having a blast about it, but they're like, and then like one of the paramedics told me, he's like, hey, don't worry about these guys. It's not like they're being assholes, but honestly, this is just the way they deal with these situations.
Yeah.
So comedy could be good therapy, man. I mean, they're showing it right there, bro.
Listen, the one thing that comedy taught me, and not only from doing it but from watching it, is that comedy teaches you that everything's gonna be okay. And at the end of the day, we're all gonna be okay. I mean, even when we're not, it's okay to not be okay.
And I look at it backwards, by the way. I think everybody's gonna get fucked. Everything's fucked. Everybody's gonna get fucked.
But your attitude
towards I'm fine with it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Your attitude towards it.
I just try to soften it up, but there's nothing else we can do.
Hell yeah,
there's
man.
nothing you can fucking do.
Yo,
it is what it is.
We did it.
We did it.
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah. Whatever number podcast this is.